30-minute reviews, beware of spoilers, and exploring hyperspace lanes are all available ad-free. But if you want to support the show, you can go to bewareofspoilers.com and click the support button that's available on the Spotify website. Thank you. Good evening, and welcome to Exploring Hyperspace Lanes. I'm Adam.
And I'm Josie.
And I've been really tired lately, too. You were going to talk about how tired you are. I'm not sick tired, I'm just tired.
I'm sick.
Like,
I have a very sore throat. I'm sorry that you are tired.
yeah, I don't know what it is. I have a job interview tomorrow, too, on top of everything else.
You have a job interview?
Yes. Which, I do
You,
appreciate you saying that as if I'm unemployed now. Um, this is me going for a second job.
I don't think that I said it in that way. I think that you just took it that way.
I did, yes.
As somebody feeling insecure about
Well,
things.
I've been looking. See, the issue
So
is,
that's exciting for you. I was saying it more in a hey, congratulations, that's awesome. You're gonna nail it, man.
well,
Go kick some butt.
I would certainly hope so. It's another retail job, which I was trying to avoid doing because I did retail for six
Why are you
years and I
doing
hate it.
retail?
Because I need to make more money and it's part time, so this would be a supplement to my current job.
Why retail?
Because they have hours outside of because I work 9 to 5 now, so this would give
Yeah.
hours outside of my because it was that or food service that has hours outside of what I currently work.
Hmm.
Ideally, I would just get a better paying job,
Yeah.
which is what I'm aiming for. I keep applying. Like you're familiar with Penguin Random House, right?
Sure.
The publisher, the publishing house. They publish books.
Oh, yeah, sounds familiar.
Yeah, you probably had a Penguin Classic at some point during high school. It's like anyway, they are constantly hiring for editorial assistants, and for the last like 6 years, I just have a notification set up on their website. Anytime they post a new job, I go and apply for it because they pay like 48,000 a year for this entry level job, which is
Do you mind if I ask what you're making currently a year?
43, 43,
Okay.
give or take.
Why don't you come work at my place then?
Because
I'll hire you
based
and I
up,
make when I you would make more than that.
well, 43 is I make 21 an hour. So,
Yes. So I don't know. I think
see, that's the issue is that I'm too good when I work that I get pay raises too quickly.
oh
Um,
yeah.
which puts me in a situation where I can't find other work that will keep the same pay rate, where inherently anything is a step down in pay.
So um have you looked at any like state jobs like to be a desk jockey?
See, that's the thing is that those are a step down in pay because like they're hiring at the Parks and Recreation Department a few towns over, and I was like, I could probably swing that, but it's a step down in
Yeah,
pay.
but if it's only $1, set it up down and then but if you have good like insurance, health insurance, and then good like other benefits and stuff, then it can be worth it. There's also at the state level something to be aware of, that where there's mandatory step increases and like where
Yeah.
every single year you'll get a pay raise.
Hmm. Yeah, I get a pay raise. I started at 15, which was minimum wage when I started at this place. Then I jumped to
Mhm.
17. Then I jumped to now I'm at 21.
Okay.
Um, I don't get another pay raise until the end of the year. But I was looking because student loan payments are
And are you
restarting.
sure that the I was gonna say, are you sure the issue is like the pay rate or the um expenditures because of where you're living?
See, that's part of it. Um, And the other thing is this place that I'm applying to, I'm not going to say where it is only because I don't want to, jinx it or anything, but like it's a national chain, this place that I'm applying
Ooh,
to.
will you send
Um,
it to me? Because I want to know.
yeah,
Also, I have to say I like your shirt.
thank you.
Pain is just pain entering the body. That's
Yes,
funny.
this is Welcome to Night Vale shirt.
I
Um,
don't know what that is.
it's another podcast. Um, probably one of because
Uh,
like to get off track, like this is like I knew what Welcome to Night Vale was before I knew what a podcast was. Because
okay.
this has been a thing since we were in high school. But yeah, so I applied for this
We
because
were
the
in high school at different times, though.
no, we weren't. We're the same age.
I'm way younger than you.
Okay. I was gonna say, like, I don't think that's how that math works out, considering we met in college, and that's on the record at this
Eh,
point. Um, but yeah, so
not anymore.
so I applied. So I applied to this job because this company is a national chain, and they have multiple companies under their brand. Um,
Hmm.
so I was like, all right. So if I wanted to move, I could likely transfer employment because like that was the big benefit with the only benefit with Walgreens was anytime I wanted to relocate, I could just
But then
transfer
you never
employment.
relocated.
No, I did twice when I was working at Walgreens. It was for college, but
You've not
still.
moved.
It was for college, but still.
Um,
So I was working there. I started there in sophomore year over the summer. Then I transferred up to Albany. Then I transferred back down after. And that was the kind of thing where it's like you could have moved around pretty easily. This would give that, presumably, that would give that level of like flexibility. Um,
you should move somewhere cheaper.
that's what I keep looking like my thing is, because of what I do. I'm looking to stay along like the New York State Thruway corridor
Why? You're a writer.
because I do a lot of work with entertainment stuff. And when I work with entertainment stuff, I want to stay within proximity to New York City with ease of transport into New York
Why?
City because that's where I do press screenings.
Why?
That's what I do. You're like a 5-year-old now. Um, because that's what I do
No,
press
I'm
screenings.
just asking.
Why? Why? Why?
Well, you hadn't actually said why.
Because
If
when
the
you
reason is because it's closer to screen
right
release things or whatever. That makes sense.
and New
That's
York
a
Film Fest
reasonable why.
and New York Film Festival, like that's the big thing I'm
I
planning
thought you
for
were
now.
dodging the question.
No, I'm not dodging the
Sir,
question.
don't
I feel like I'm in a
do
deposition.
you like my interrogation
Yeah, I feel
techniques?
like I'm in a deposition right now.
Yeah.
But no, like right now, I'm planning out for New York Film Festival because it's gonna be there's good opportunity there. Um, it's just a matter of figuring out what days to go. Because like uh
Why
Miyazaki's new
not go
movie.
somewhere and stay somewhere where you can go in, like on a bus, like as a day trip,
That's that's what
instead of
I
like
was.
a quick in and out?
Well, that's what that's okay. That's why I say along the New York State corridor up and down New York, you'd be able to do that.
Well, if you came out of New York and went to somewhere that had like lower income tax and lower maybe housing tax.
Well, the issue isn't the income tax and the property taxes. The issue, like, because the issue with that specifically is on Long Island is where it's astronomical. Because like a studio out here in the cheapest studio I've been able to find, is about 1,600 a month, which is absurd.
That is absurd.
Um, Similar studios with similar sizes upstate go for 500, 600 a month.
It's pretty expensive pretty much anywhere now, though.
But if you're gonna rent an apartment, 500, 600 a month isn't terrible for a studio.
You shouldn't
Like,
rent. You should go buy.
well, yeah, that okay, yes, I understand that. That is the ideal thing, but
You are feeling sassy today. Oh boy.
I like, but
The sass that is coming my way, unwarranted. Goodness.
well, no, I know it's better to buy a house than it is to rent, but
Right?
for the short term, when you're trying to save up to do that, it
I
is
I
like
speaking from personal experience, it does seem like that would work out. It takes a long time. It right now when you're home, and like that's where you should be saving up the money to be able to put down that down
Well, that's
payment.
what I'm working on. I'm trying to save money, but that's why I'm getting hence the second job is save money and pay down debt.
What are you gonna get at the second job for hour for per hour?
See, that's the other issue. I'm not 100% certain yet. But minimum wage is 15 an hour. So if I'm working 28 hours at 15, then that would give enough of a cushion to pay down my car loan, pay down outstanding debts, and then get to a point where it's, feasible.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice to work that extra time. I
No, it's
mean,
not. The
it
money is nice.
yeah. Um, Speaking from experience of having worked, 60-hour plus weeks for
Oh, I've done
years
that, but
and
I did that when I was
years.
working when I was upstate. I was going to school full time, and I was working Walgreens and I was working J.C. Penney. Um,
Um,
which I'm not
but
surprised
it's
J.C. Penney's going under now after working there.
yeah. Um, really?
Oh yeah, like
Why?
I was in the home department, and one of the things that we would sell was the seen on TV stuff. Um, and
Uh-huh.
they would mark it up double to cut the price in half and have a giant 50% off sign on it.
Okay.
And they would get mad at me because I was doing so well with credit card applications because I would sign people up for the credit card, put it on the card, immediately do a payment, and then cancel the credit card.
Why were you doing that?
Because that way they got the what's it called? That way they would get
Yeah, but
the
you're definitely not supposed to do that.
no, but they wanted the discount. So I was like, here, we'll put the credit card in. We'll do that. That way I get credit for the credit app. Then they get rid of that. That way they don't have to worry about having the credit card.
Yeah, I could see why you'd get in trouble for that one. That's
Yeah.
definitely not how it's supposed to work.
Well,
But
no, oh no. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to give them a $5,000 credit limit and have them run it up as high as possible. That's what you're supposed to do.
yeah.
Mine is less
Yeah.
exploitative.
Well, you should start exploiting. That's your issue.
I'm too nice for that.
Um, I really liked working at Dunkin's. That was somewhere that was like, oh gosh, I get to turn my brain off. I get to make people happy. And I don't know if you have anywhere around that you can work at that's like an ice cream joint.
Oh
That is
God,
the
I wouldn't do
best
that.
to work at. No, you just don't eat any of it. Trust me, it ruins ice cream for you.
I
So
don't
like,
have the
weight
issue.
loss, yay.
Like I don't like I appreciate you looking at me and being like, this guy has that issue with ice cream. He needs that.
Bro,
Um,
I made it the same thing. You were just saying. I'm saying that I had that as a side effect and that it would it would definitely ruins ice cream for you for a long time. But like, who's angry getting ice cream? You get to make people's day. You
see,
get to
that's a
hand
good
them the
point.
sweet goody treat that they are like, fuck yeah. So especially when you make it look really pretty, they are the happiest.
It's like,
You don't have to deal with like the angry people.
see, that was the thing at Walgreens too, is that no one is going into Walgreens for a good reason.
No,
Like no one.
they're either sick or printing out their nudes.
See, that happened more often than you would think in real life.
No, you
Uh,
told me
oh yeah, no, oh yeah, I did tell you that. Yeah, because apparently it was people who would mail it to people in jail, and it was like, all right, I
you
guess.
would keep a copy for yourself for the ones
No.
that you liked. You used to tell me that too.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. No. And it only happened like twice ever, but it was one of those things that like this is notable to mention that it happened.
Yeah,
Um,
you would tell me.
someone got a poster printed of like I presumably the girl in the picture was not 100% down with this because she didn't look thrilled to be having her picture taken in the first place, but like she was looked like she was like using a sink as a toilet,
Oh, you broke out
like it
using
like
a sink as a toilet.
yeah, she was like sitting on a toilet without
That's funny.
pants, and it's
She was
like
probably drunk.
see, yeah, that was what it is. And I'm like, I'm not 100% certain that this person in this picture is thrilled to have this, done. And the thing is too, it's like,
Memorialized, yeah.
yeah, and as a 16 by 20 poster too. And the thing is too, 9 times out of
That's
10,
funny.
like I didn't know what was being printed in the thing because I didn't work. I was a supervisor. I wasn't working the counter. But like this one motherfucker who was working would call me over anytime something happened in the pictures, like, "Oh, look at this," and I'm like, "We're not supposed to be going through the pictures."
You were
Like,
friends. That's
no,
what friends do.
no. Like we're like
No.
you like the pictures are supposed to just take them out, put them in the envelope. Like there's like a policy for what to do if there's like porn in the pictures, but like we're not supposed to
Yeah,
look at
like
them.
if
So how
there's
are we?
kitties.
Yeah, like in which case it's like there's a whole thing you got to do. But like my
Yeah, like
question
call the
was like,
fucking cops.
if we're not supposed to look at the pictures, how are we supposed to know that? And also, like, presumably someone who's doing that wouldn't go to a Walgreens to get it developed. Presumably they'd have like
That's
a
not
dark
true.
room.
People get caught for that all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, either way. So we had like he would call me over and he'd be like, "Oh, look at this," and it's like, why? Like, if you tripped over this person in the street, you wouldn't know who they were. Like, but either way,
Well,
like,
because it's funny and interesting.
how did we get to this
And
point?
also look at these naked people. Like
But
that's funny.
but also like,
I'd do it if I saw it. Yeah, I'd call you over and I'd be like, ah,
look at
look at
this.
this.
But like, also like, I've never gotten
I'd like
threatened to get.
rate them and then I'd look at them when like they came
You
in
give them that.
and I'd be
You give
like,
them that look, like, oh, you. Um,
and I'd say something like you looked better in your photos.
the
Like
worst was
make them feel so uncomfortable.
there was one woman who would do it repeatedly. And she would do like 60 pictures, and she worked across the street, so we saw her fairly consistently. And I'm like, you
She
don't think this is
probably had
awkward?
an she probably had like a content thing where she could send them and get money for them.
But like, you don't think like I guess she didn't think it was awkward, but like
No, she thought that she was gonna get more.
everyone
That's
else
how
was
she's
like,
gonna get
this
more
is really
customers.
weird. Like,
She was probably hoping that one day you'd ask for her handle so she could take your money.
yeah, no. But either way, it's like I've
Little
never
does
threatened
she
to
know you have none.
exactly. Um, the
So I guess I'm feeling sassy
I
too.
know, yeah. The issue, the big issue with like with Walgreens was like I've never gotten threatened to go get shot by someone anywhere else I've worked. It's just at the drugstore I've threatened to have gotten shot.
Who
Um,
tried to shoot you?
oh, this guy was a pain in the ass. He was consistently a problem every time he came in, and I was at one time he cursed me out, and we had to sit there for an hour re-ringing his entire transaction because he didn't get his fucking like Christmas holiday money, for spending $100 because he missed it by like $1. So he had us return the transaction and then re-ring it with a little notebook so we can get it. And I'm like, well, fuck you. I'm not gonna do a post void. I'm like, if you're gonna make me sit here and do this, I'm gonna manually return every single item.
Hmm.
So one time he came in and his wife needed pills. Um, and there was this isn't a HIPAA violation, so I'm not saying his name. But
No, that's true. And just like I can talk about people's records and it's not a violation of their rights.
apparently there was
Go
an
for it.
interaction that happened between one of the medications and this new prescription. And the pharmacist who was working was like, I can't dispense this without talking to the doctor because there's a known interaction between this and one of her other medications. Um,
Mm.
so he calls, leaves that message with the guy. The guy comes in and he's like, "No, she needs these pills. I need them." And the pharmacist is like, "I, I can't dispense. Legally, I can't dispense these because if there's an interaction, we are liable.
Hmm.
And these pills have known interactions." So he's like, "Call a manager." I'm the one working that day, so I go back to the pharmacy and he's like,
You
he
don't
wants.
manage the pharmacy though, do you?
No, I was
You
a
just
front
manage the store.
the front end. Yeah, I didn't oversee the
Oh my
pharmacy or anything.
goodness.
So he calls me over and he's like, and he explains the situation to me, and I turn to the pharmacist. I'm like, you can't dispense it, right? And he's like, no, I can't. And he's like, well, can you make him dispense it? And I'm like, look, this guy outranks me. I can't make him do anything. Like, this guy went to school for
Yeah,
many years. He's got years of experience. I can't make him do anything.
maybe
That
believe him.
if he's saying this is a serious issue, you got to listen to this guy. And he goes, "All right, fine, I'm leaving. But
Good.
when I come back, I will have my shotgun and I will shoot you both." And I'm
Oh
like,
my goodness.
"Great. That's a terroristic threat and you're not coming back in the store
That's
ever
not
again."
terroristic threat.
Oh, my boss pulled that shit
It's
on someone in the early days of COVID
it's
too.
it's it's criminal threatening.
It is a terroristic threat when it's at a pharmacy and it's over
Uh,
medication.
is it?
According to the cop who showed up, it was.
Fucking New York. New York's weird. New York has weird charges.
But also, we got someone on a terroristic threat once in the early days of COVID because they came in and
Oops.
they were trying to buy something or they wanted to buy something and their card wouldn't go through and they're like, "Can you force it through in some way?" Or I think it was something like that, or they were trying to shoplift or some bullshit like that, and it was
Or
like
like use
very
somebody else's
it,
card or
yeah,
something.
it was something dumb like that. It was very early COVID, and the the proceedings to call the police had already started. And then the woman turns and coughs on my boss and goes, "Well, I have COVID, so have fun with that,"
Oh my
and
gosh.
leaves. And this is like week
At the
one of
beginning.
lockdown. So she
Oh my
calls the police,
goodness.
and then because when the police show up, it's like, "Look, that's a biohazard. This is now a Class A felony,
Yeah.
like because that is a
Love
severe
that.
issue."
Don't
So
cough on people, period. I don't care
yeah,
what you've got. Don't fucking cough on me.
yeah,
That I
and
feel
then
like if
declare you
somebody
have
coughs
COVID.
on you, you should, right. But I just think that people shouldn't cough on people, like, period. You don't know what
Yeah,
people have, like, it for existing conditions that could potentially your coughing on them could like kill them.
and it's also just rude.
Um, so it is rude. Um, I think that it's something that we should be able to like view as a threat on our lives where we're allowed to use some kind of force
If someone coughs on you, you should be able to shoot them.
in response. Mm, or stab them. I like the
Josie
little more
Josie
personal
carries a switchblade
approach.
on her. If someone sneezes on her, she can just like
I
give him like
do
two quick ones.
carry a knife. I do carry a pocket knife with me. I actually left it with my parents when I last visited them.
So
I tried to bring
that's
it into
helpful.
the airport again.
Yeah,
I
that's
have lost so many pocket knives in the airport, and I know that I'm not supposed to have them, and I feel really shitty when I fucking get them taken away from me. It's not on purpose because I don't want to be just throwing away money. But
in case you were
so this
curious,
time
Josie. In case you had any ambiguity, Josie is white, which is why she hasn't been arrested for accidentally bringing a knife into an airport.
one time I brought one in that was like this serrated like one that's like shaped like a raptor claw, and the guy was like, what are you doing with this? And I was like, I don't know, it's cool.
Which is like
And he
this
was
is like
like,
all the proof that the TSA does absolutely nothing because like in
he
an
was like,
equal world.
why do you need a knife like this? I was like, I think it's neat looking. That's it.
It's like in a world where all things are equal, Josie has a felony like weapons possession charge for bringing it into
It's
a
not a
federal
weapons.
airport.
No, it's not
Bringing a
illegal
knife
to
into
bring
an
it in. It's
air
just illegal to bring it onto.
past a certain point,
Huh?
it's definitely illegal to have it.
Yeah, but they take it away before then.
Hmm.
I've never gotten it past there.
Well, no, I'm
Um,
not saying you're smuggling
so
weapons onto
I
an airplane.
yeah, thank you. Thanks for clarifying that. Because no, the TSA takes it.
Yeah, but
But I was really
yeah,
bummed
so
out when they took this one because it has hearts and it's got like the holographic look to it. It's very cool. And
yeah, but
flowers. It's got hearts and flowers all over it.
yeah. So I've been looking at like retail jobs mostly because I know they have hours that I can fit into the schedule of what I currently have. Which is kind of the
Mm.
biggest part of it is like I need to be able to fit it into what I'm currently doing without worrying about
You know what I think would make lots of money and that you could totally do and you could like do it whenever you wanted to is
OnlyFans.
if you are so inclined.
No.
But dog sitting and dog
See,
walking.
I don't know. I don't have the time in my schedule to really do that because I got to leave for work at to get there by 9. I got to leave by like 8:15. And I don't get back until about 5:45 unless I have something after work. Like if I have a doctor's appointment, like I have physical therapy every once in a while. If I have a movie to go
So
to,
I've got this lady watching our dogs while we're away, and she is gonna make $500 off me for coming by twice a day to let the dogs out for half an hour.
Hmm. Okay. Maybe there is a future in that career.
Mm-hmm. So, um, maybe that's something that, you only take things that work for you. I mean, and that work for your schedule. Don't take anything where they need you to like let them out super early. You
Yeah.
can always do, but that would be more on your time and your speed and your schedule. So you can still do all the things that you want to do without having to do massive amount of hours put into it to make decent money off of
See,
it.
that's kind of the issue is that it's like I know how exhausted I was when I was working two jobs in the past.
Yeah, it's
Um,
exhausting.
yeah. Which is why I've been kind of dragging my feet on the getting a second job aspect of things.
Mm-hmm.
But I do need the money, so you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Um,
You should look into that.
yeah. Or we can start charging people for the podcast and then split the money
Nobody's
50-50.
listening enough to do that.
Yeah, that's the issue. Is that it's like because I was thinking like maybe I'll put like that was a thought I had about the New York Film Festival movies was maybe paywall them until the wide release, like make them pay-per-view. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so the plan is the new Miyazaki movie is priority one. You know Miyazaki, you know, acclaimed anime director,
No.
Spirited Away, My Neighbor Totoro,
Oh.
um, Castle in the Sky. The guy behind Studio Ghibli, he's got his new movie is coming out. His first movie in like 5 years, something like that, or maybe 10 years. That movie is coming out and it's New York. Its U.S. premiere is at the New York Film Festival, so that's priority one. Priority two is Poor Things, which is Yorgos Lanthimos' new movie with Emma Stone and Mark Ruffalo. Um, that's priority two. Priority three is The Zone of Interest, which is Paul Glazer's new movie about the Holocaust that is supposed to be really, really good.
Oh.
Um, so I got those three movies, and my thought, and then
What's it about in the Holocaust? Like,
it's not about the actual Holocaust. It's like there's a death camp, and this is about the people who live in the affluent neighborhood adjacent to the death camp who just kind of turn a blind eye.
this is an interest that's an interesting take to it.
Yeah, like the ash of the people being burned falling on them in this
Oh.
neighborhood, and they're just kind of
Ooh.
ignoring it.
I hate that. Okay.
Um,
But
it's supposed to be
that's
really
kind of
good though.
interesting.
Yeah, so those are the three for New York, and then Hamptons hasn't released its full film festival schedule yet. But New York, I'm gonna
Hmm.
try and do those three. Hamptons is a little bit easier because it's easier to get into and out of Southampton than it is to get into and out of Manhattan.
Hmm.
Um,
Have you ever been to the Holocaust Museum in
DC,
DC?
I have not. I've been to the World War
Yeah.
II Memorial in DC. Um, I've not been to the
Okay.
Holocaust Museum though.
Um, I don't remember who I was talking to about it. I think it was at work. But I was talking to somebody about it and not that long ago, so
And
it's just
now, to
a
be
little
clear, we're all on the same page. This actually happened.
coincidental that it's also coming up.
Hmm.
Huh?
I said, to be clear, we're all on the same page. The Holocaust did actually happen.
I don't think that requires
You'd be surprised with the people I
a
deal with at
statement.
work. With the people I deal with at work, that is something that surprisingly needs
You're
clarification more
working at a
often than.
stupid place
Yeah, oh
and I
yeah,
need to
no,
leave.
no, no, no. I know,
Because you're working with a bunch of fucking morons.
no, I know.
Um, you should start to work with some more intellectual people. So, we were talking about it, and I think because somebody was going on vacation, but they were we were talking about how powerful it is and how it's something that is a lot more powerful as you get older,
Hmm.
um, where you can start to visualize and kind of understand, and you've learned more about it instead of like when a lot of the times when schools take you as a child, you just don't understand, like you don't grasp the whole
The magnitude
concept
of
of
it
it.
doesn't
But
quite.
yes,
Once you're able to grasp the magnitude of what happened, it's more impactful than when you're a kid. You don't like the numbers seem more
yeah,
abstract.
yeah, and it was interesting to talk about how the different people that I knew had gone when they were kids compared to going as an adult. Um, like how maybe like their schools and their classmates handled
Hmm.
it as well. Um, I know that we were pretty young. I mean, I think it was sixth grade, so that's like 13. That there was like half the class that was like staring up and looking at everything and like crying, and then there was half the class that was just fucking around,
Yeah.
you know. It's just interesting to think about.
And it's like it's the same thing with like in New York we have the Tenement Museum because we had, in New York where New York is famous for the immigrant populations that came in from Europe across the 18 and 1900s. And they have a museum
Mhm.
about what housing was like for people who came over.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah, it's in I think it's in Manhattan. My mom's been there
Sounds
more
cool.
recently, and she said that like when she was looking around, she's like, "This is how exactly how my grandfather described what things were like when they first came over from Italy in the 50s."
Wow.
And
Um,
it's that kind of thing.
that's not one that I've been to. I did go to the to Ellis Island
I've
and
been to Ellis
the
Island too.
and the um
Natural History, Statue of Liberty.
Statue of Liberty. Thank you. Yep.
Um, yeah, that was one that that's one that when you live in the area you do that. Natural History Museum's a big one. Museum of Modern
I
Art.
don't think I got to go to the History Museum. I was there on a like a long weekend trip for band, and so part of our time was spent with um a pretty awesome um orchestra maestro.
Oh, okay. Um, yeah, like I did the Natural History Museum as a kid with my dad, but then also we went back fairly recently. That one's really cool because it's like space and stuff like that. Um,
That is cool.
the Bronx Zoo is pretty cool too.
Okay.
If you want to go to a zoo.
I'm
Um,
good.
the
So
Museum of
so
Modern Art's got cool stuff too. They did an exhibit for the Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio recently,
oh,
where it's like
that's
all the
pretty
stop
good.
motion figures that they use and all the sets were on display.
Oh,
Um, but yeah, so if you need a museum to go to, New York's got a lot of really cool ones. I feel like we're just kind of like,
yeah.
aliens
I
who
know
have
we're
discovered Earth for
chit-chatting
the first
today.
time. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, what was there's one that I want to go to in Queens that I've never been to in Astoria, the Museum of the Moving Image, um,
Oh, okay.
which is all about movies and stuff like that. And I really want to go
Yeah,
there.
that sounds right up your alley.
Oh yeah. Um,
Um, I really like going to, if you ever make your way up this way, in Boston, there's the aquarium, the Boston Aquarium.
I've heard cool things about that. I've been to the Coney
It's
Island Aquarium.
awesome and it blows whatever aquarium you've ever been to out of the water, I promise.
I've been to Coney Island
And
and
if
I've been
not, then
to
I'll buy you
Riverhead.
a beer.
Um, what was it? I was debating because because the New Hampshire Film Festival is coming up. Um,
You should do.
I was
That would be
well, no,
fun. I can show you lots of cool New Hampshire stuff on your
what I was
visit.
debating for that was I was like, if there's a
Oh,
movie that's worth talking about, it's like, do I buy a ticket for Josie and send her on a mission to go see it, and then have her report back for an episode, like a field
no,
reporter?
you come.
Okay,
You take time off and you take a vacation and then you come.
yeah. Because I was like, all right,
And because you can't trust me to actually be able to go because my job could whisk me away at any moment
that's true.
regularly.
Or trust you to pay attention properly.
That too. And especially if you want me to like report back and I'm gonna come back and you expect me to have like these deep feelings on it and I just don't. Um and
The
I'll
movie
be
was
like, yeah, it
good,
was good.
or I didn't get
That's
it.
it. I don't get it. It doesn't make
It's like
sense.
some of the movies that I've seen this year, I'm like they're really good, but if I sent you to go watch them, it's like she wouldn't like this at all.
No, no. I
Like an artsy character study of
I don't want to work
Emily.
hard. I don't want to work hard in watching my movies. Like I want to be laid out. What's that one with the bunny man dude? Like, and I have a hard time with that one. Um,
What?
the bunny man dude. I don't know.
I don't even know what the
You know
fuck you're
what I'm
talking about.
talking about. Come on.
The Bunny Man dude.
Yeah, the one where it's like super artsy fartsy and I don't know. I'm not into that because I just thinking I'm watching it to turn my brain off and to be entertained for a moment. If I have to think, then I'm going to think about other shit.
Uh, Yeah, I'm big on the more artsy movies, which is why
I know
Poor
you
Things
are.
is on the list, because that is definitely an artsy movie.
That's
Um,
what they call me.
um, but yeah, so we got Starfield coming up. Are you excited for Starfield at any degree?
I am. I am. It does happen to be coming out right when I'm gonna be away though. Um,
I have it preloaded on my laptop.
which means we're not going to be able to record for like the next maybe 2 weeks. We'll see how that
Oh no, I
goes.
know. I
Um,
was working around that.
okay. Um,
Well aware. Because
okay.
despite the fact that she doesn't want to say what she's doing, she did tell me what she's doing, so I was like, all right, let me work that into the schedule.
I did?
You didn't tell me where you were going, but I know why or reasonably what
Oh,
you're like.
well, you say that like I won't tell you. I just don't give up information unless asked.
No, I know, and in the past on the podcast, I've asked like like when we did
Yeah, well,
the.
it's not other people's business.
I don't think anyone like you don't give enough information for anyone to know what it is.
Well, for a long time, it was like I couldn't do it for my safety because of what I was doing for work. Because
Because
I'd
she
been
was in the
working,
CIA.
no, I was working in corrections, and I didn't want people that I worked with regularly to um go, hey, I heard you. I know, I listened to you, and then
I
create
know
some
I
kind of
know how much
obsession
you
or
like
weird
Mamma Mia.
thing. Right. Well, no, because I know you joke, but like it could become something more where it becomes dangerous for me.
No, I know.
It could have. Um, but
Which is why you
that's
don't
why I was
stream, even
so
though that would be right up
careful.
your alley.
And now I don't do it because it's
You've cultivated a
you
character at
know,
this point.
yeah, sure, let's go with that.
Over the course of almost a decade, you've cultivated a character who's kind of on everything.
It's kind of shady, yeah. I'm shady.
um,
I show up when I want.
yeah, but yeah. So, did you watch Ahsoka yet?
I did. You'll be happy.
All right, so let's talk
Please
about
don't be
Ahsoka.
yelling at me.
Let's talk about Ahsoka, and then if we have time, we'll do Clone Wars. If not, we'll push Clone Wars to another day. What
Okay.
did you think about Ahsoka?
It was cool. It actually kept my attention.
Um,
Kind of.
I thought that the first two episodes are good. They are a little slow.
Yeah.
But I
I
think that
can't
that's just because I'd watched Rebels.
honestly, I couldn't tell you what happened.
See, I think the
But the
entire thing is.
visuals were good.
Did you catch the outbound flight reference?
I did not.
Yeah, that ship, that giant ring ship that they have, is meant. I think that's going to be the stand-in for the outbound flight project,
Oh,
where it's
okay.
like it is going outside the galaxy. They're going to go explore elsewhere, to see what else is out there. But in this case,
Interesting.
it's they're going to find Thrawn. I think Thrawn is dead.
You think Thrawn's dead?
I think that the inclusion of the Night Sisters and Dathomir, and there's one line, and I think it's the second episode where she goes, I've been communicating with Thrawn across space and time. I think that
Oh,
means that
in
Thrawn.
time.
I think that means Thrawn is dead, and Thrawn comes back the same way Ahsoka came back,
How did
where
Ahsoka come back?
Ahsoka dies in season 2 of Rebels.
Really?
She fights Vader in season 2, and sacrifices herself to stop Vader, but fails, so she just dies. In
Okay.
season 4, um, they reveal this concept called the world between worlds, which is this thing that kind of exists within the Force, outside of space and time. So like Ezra goes there, and like it's cool because like you
I
hear
don't think
stuff.
I finished watching that Rebels thing then.
Yeah, like when he goes
I
there.
guess I probably need to watch it in order to like catch up and
Yeah,
know what's going on.
when he goes there, like you hear quotes and stuff from all across Star Wars. So like you hear stuff like Obi-Wan, you hear like Qui-Gon, you hear Anakin, and then you hear stuff like you hear like Rey and Kylo Ren talking
Hmm.
too. Because it's all time you can hear.
Really?
Yeah, so it's he's here in the future too. And what happens is he for
Hmm.
a moment goes to save Kanan, because at that point Kanan had died, but he's like, oh no, he saves Ahsoka first. Like he sees the fight with Ahsoka, and he pulls Ahsoka out into the world between worlds, and then they go back. But he goes to save Kanan, but Ahsoka's like, no, you can't do that because that will fuck up the timeline. Um,
Okay.
so that is what I think they're gonna do with Thrawn. I think they're gonna pull Thrawn from right before he dies into the future. I also think that
Hmm.
Inquisitor is Ezra,
I think the Inquisitor is Ezra.
the
Okay.
the masked Inquisitor.
Why
I
do you
think
think that?
because
Wouldn't that make him a bad guy?
yes, because I think if you want to have Sabine have to face off against someone and you want it to have emotional resonance, it's got to be Ezra, and I think that works.
Okay.
And then the name of the person, I forgot what they called him. It started with an M, I think, but it's a knight of the Round Table who had a similar dark turn. Is where the name comes from. So I
Oh,
think
okay.
that is something where that could be cool. Did you catch in the credits? It's not Arbesh. It's the Sith language that gets translated to
No, I
English.
didn't.
Yeah, it's
That's
the written
cool.
language of
No.
the Sith. There's a lot of references to Knights of the Old Republic.
Okay.
Um, where it's like the maps are designed like Knights of the Old Republic, and it's this show is everything I wanted it to be.
Is it? That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm all in on this show. Because it's like it's getting into the weirder aspects of Star Wars, which I don't think they've
That's
done enough of
awesome.
in live action. Um, but yeah, I'm like the minute the Night Sister showed up, I was like, this is the single greatest thing they could have done.
Okay.
Because I'm all here for the the weird, more mystical aspects of the universe.
That's cool. That's
Which
exciting.
which
I'm
they're
glad that
leaning
you're
into.
really liking it. Because it's been a while since you've really liked anything.
I no, I really liked Andor.
Oh yeah,
So
that.
it's been about a year.
So I did actually, so I've talked to a couple people about it since we've talked about
Hmm.
it, and I am not alone in my thoughts.
What were your
Um,
that was slow and that you
that it
liked
was
it?
slow, that it was boring, that there just wasn't a lot going on.
Oh, and you're talking about Andor.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that
yeah.
Andor, I'm not gonna say Andor starts out strong. And if you go back and listen to the episodes of Beware of Spoilers I did, the weekly episode breakdowns, I was a lot less
Hmm.
gung ho on it in the beginning. Once Cassian joins up with Luthen and goes to do the heist, which I think is like episode 4, that's when it starts to really pick up. And
Hmm.
it becomes some of the best. Like that was the big issue I had last year when we did the year in review, is
Hmm.
the series of the year for me came down to Andor or Sandman. Um, and what it came down to is Sandman also starts out really slow. Um, but the amount of time it takes for it to get going is longer.
I like Sandman though because it's interesting because of how dark it is.
Oh, and the thing is too, it's like I'm not saying that
And
Sandman's
it's
bad.
interesting because it's new.
Like, no, it's an adaptation of a comic from like 1989. It's not that new.
Right, but it's new to the general public. Like that doesn't isn't all over the comics and stuff.
That is one of like the next season I'm really looking forward to because they're doing Season of the Mist, which is hands down one of the best comics ever written.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it is the concept behind it is um Lucifer has decided that in this case she is tired of presiding over hell and hands over the keys to the gates of hell to Dream or to Morpheus. So
Ooh.
all of the gods are jockeying for possession of hell. So like,
I listened to the audiobook.
oh, okay, so you know it then.
Yeah.
It's the first part of part 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that first bit where it's like Thor and Loki are there and Bast and all of the gods from all of the religions are showing up, and then it's like all of a sudden at the end it's like, isn't it like the archangels from the Christian gods show up and they're like,
This is something
yeah, this
I'm
is
looking
us.
forward to that coming out and
Yeah,
being able to watch that.
I think that that's gonna be the most like Netflix. I think is really hit or miss with their originals.
I
Um,
agree.
Like, are you excited at all for One Piece next week or this week,
I'm
tomorrow?
not a One Piece person. I understand the appeal. I just never quite got into it. And at this point, because there's over a
Oh
thousand
my God. Yeah,
episodes, I just cannot start.
that's the daunting thing about it.
Because
I
it will
want
be
to.
a problem.
Like, I want to get into it. And I texted you like a week ago, like, you
For
know,
yeah, you asked me for
anime
anime
recommendations.
recommendations. Did you watch any of them?
I've been I think I could talk about it now because this episode's going up tomorrow. I've had to catch up with the new season of Wheel of Time, so I've been really busy lately with
Oh, so you
that.
didn't watch any of the ones that I sent you?
I just had to watch 4 hours of Wheel of Time, and we're gonna do a review of that this week. But that was a lot to get through. Um, for someone who's not the
Are you
biggest
gonna
fan of Wheel
watch? You need to watch the one that I sent you.
Orin Host Club.
The one that I said that's my favorite.
Orin Host Club.
There's one season, they never made a second one. They have like a cult following of people that are like, how could they never do it again? You're gonna be like, this is fucking stupid at first, and then you're gonna be addicted.
See, because
And
here's the
it's
thing.
just so sweet. It's so easy. Like it
What
doesn't require a lot of investment. Like it's easy and it's cute.
the thing that caused this fascination for me with anime was Pokemon is ending the
Did you
arc with
see
Ash.
the wait, can I guess?
Go ahead.
I want to do a mean joke.
Go ahead.
Um, did you see the pillows and you wanted to know who they were?
Oh no, it took a minute. No, I get what you're saying now. Okay, no. But what happened was the Pokemon anime, which has been going on since like what 97. Um, Ash is finally ending his
I
journey.
tried to start watching that a
Yeah,
while
I
ago.
think I think if you're not a
It's
Pokemon
probably
fan,
about time.
if you're not a Pokemon fan, it's hard to get into, I think. Um,
Yeah, it's a lot more geared towards young kids than I
yes,
realized.
yes, it is. It's very because this was very much for me the first anime that I watched religiously. Like it was this and Yu-Gi-Oh that I watched on a weekly basis. Um, but I figured I'm like, look, I'm still a giant Pokemon fan. I pre-ordered the DLC for the new game. I still, get into it. So I was like, you know, let me get into this and watch the end of Ash's journey. And the end of his journey is a tournament arc. And it's a cliche in anime, the tournament arc at this point. But goddamn, the tournament arc will pull me in every time. I love a tournament arc. So I'm watching this, and it's like and the thing is too, when you see the way the bracket's set up, you're like, he's gonna win this. There's no way he's not gonna win this. Besides the fact that it came out already in Japan, and we know he wins already. But you know, I was watching, and then I texted Josie, and I was like, "What other anime recommendations do you have? Because I want to get back into anime."
And I sent an excellent
Oh my
list.
God, you sent a fucking list. But at the time, I had already downloaded a bunch of stuff to get into. I
Do you have my
downloaded.
list? And we can tell
Let
people.
me let me pull your list up. I think I still
And that
have
can
it.
be the name of the episode is Josie's anime
Oh,
list.
I was gonna name it Adam the Weeb, but yeah, we can do that
Adam the
instead.
Weeb, that's
Yeah,
funny. I like
that's
that.
that.
Do Adam the Weeb.
Hang on. How long ago was? Okay, here it is.
You can't really be a weeb. You just started.
I used to watch anime more. I was very into Dragon Ball Z, which I get it. I know it's like the Bud Light of anime, but
Yeah.
okay. So, Orin Host Club, Fairy Tale, Soul Eater, Ren, Castlevania.
Ye- So Ren is gonna be hard to get a hold of.
Okay, what is that?
It's an anime.
I meant like,
What do you
what's it
mean?
about? Can you give a little bit more information?
No.
Okay. Um, the Castlevania one on Netflix, Cyberpunk Edge Runners, High School of the Dead, Kakaguri. Is that how you pronounce that?
Kakaguri, yeah. A lot of these ones are the ones that are on Netflix. So that's what I was trying to give you was like
That's
easy
what I've
ones to
that's what I
go
figured.
and
Sword Art
and
Online,
yeah.
and then
The
the
first
amount of
season is best.
and then what was the other one? Orin Host Club.
Sword Art Online is like a classic for
Yeah,
anime.
that one, and like that's one that I've heard of. It's like that. Like I never watched Naruto, but I've heard of that. I've heard of
Naruto's good too, but that's kind of an investment of
that's
time.
another one. That's got like 700 episodes.
Yeah.
Um, Like One Piece is one that I've heard a lot of good things, but it's like 1,000 fucking episodes. I'll be here for the rest of my
Yeah,
life.
I tried to pick ones that would be not overly investing
Yeah,
for you because it's
like
like, okay, here's some good ones to start off with.
another one that I've heard very good things about, that I'm inclined to because it's still going on to, it's still going on. Um, My Hero Academia.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I downloaded Hunter x Hunter, the first 5 episodes, the first 5 episodes of Demon Slayer. That's another one I've heard a lot of really good things about. The first 5 episodes of One Piece and the first 5 episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh, because that's more of a nostalgia thing. Because that was something that, like, holy fuck, that was a show that was hype as fuck when I was a kid.
I know a lot of people like One Punch Man too.
That's one someone at work recommended me that.
I I've never gotten into it, but I've also never really tried to. So and I it's that's another investment one. Like so um
One Punch
a
Man's,
lot
and
of
I
the
don't think that's
animes
that
that I
long.
recommended are not ones that have massive amounts of episodes to get through. And just because my lifestyle doesn't necessarily allow that for me. So,
I think I found one that me and Peter could do for the Halloween episode.
yeah,
Junji Ito Maniac, the Japanese Tales of the Macabre.
let me see. How do you spell it?
Junji space ITO Maniac. It's a new Netflix series. It's it's like it looks like an anime version of that Cabinet of Curiosities show from Guillermo del
This looks
Toro.
really cool. This isn't new, is it?
It says 2023.
Hmm. This
It
art
looks fucked
style,
up.
yeah, this art style looks really familiar and totally reminds me of another kind of creepy anime that I'd watched. Oh fuck, I can't even remember what it's called, but it was all about like uh this kind of creepy stuff and like possessions and like damning people, like that kind of thing. This
I
looks really cool.
I did watch the first Gundam movie too, and I watched
But
the
this
first
looks
few.
scary and I don't think
Yeah,
that you'll be okay.
I appreciate the vote of confidence. I did watch the first episode of
You're
Neon
welcome.
Genesis Evangelion too. Not that I didn't get into it, but I guess other stuff came
Hey,
up.
I take your recommendations literally all the time. You should take my
I'm gonna
recommendation.
take your recommendation. I will. Hang on, let me just find. Let me add it to my Hulu list right now. That way you can
Could you?
verify because you're also on my Hulu account, right? Are you still on my
No, I
Hulu
have
account?
my own Hulu,
Oh, okay. Never mind. Um,
but I am on your Peacock account.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's it.
are in high school host club.
That's on Netflix.
It's on Hulu. It's not on Netflix.
Are you sure? It used to be on Netflix.
No, it's only 26 episodes.
Yeah. I told you these aren't like investment ones. They're just good, solid, like one or two season ones.
Yeah, I'll get into that. Have you watched any of the new Futurama yet?
I have. I've watched every single episode.
Did you get up? Did they confirm that Disenchanted is in the same continuity? I read an article about that today.
Nothing that I've been able to tell, but I didn't really watch all the Disenchanted stuff.
Disenchanted looked like it could be cool, and then I didn't hear anything positive at all.
Yeah, I watched like maybe the first season and that was cute, and then it got weird and kind of annoying.
Um, do you want to watch a fucked up show on, or a fucked up sad show on Hulu?
It depends.
Tiny Beautiful Things with Catherine Hahn. Um, it is beautifully depressing. Ooh, Dragon Ball Z Kai is on. I see. I shouldn't have gone on the anime portal on what's it called on that because I guess saw Dragon Ball Z Kai is on there, and I actually really like Dragon Ball Z Kai. I know a lot of people didn't. Um, and the other thing is, I know it's the wrong way to do it, and I know it's the wrong way to do it. I'm a dub person because I like to do other things while I watch TV. Like watching TV is not my
I'm with
primary
you.
thing. Like I like
I'm
if
with
it
you.
is, I need dialogue, and I can't watch something with subtitles unless I'm in a movie theater.
I have to do it won't keep my attention long enough and then I just won't know what's happening.
Like
So
that's not
I
my
am
like
there with you.
if
And
if
everything
I'm
that I recommended to you does have dub.
oh good, okay. Because like that's my issue with like watching stuff on TV at home versus watching it in a movie theater. I have no problems watching a foreign film in a foreign language. Like Zone of Interest is German and Polish with English subtitles, and I
Um,
don't have a problem watching foreign movies. It's just it has to be in a movie theater. I can't do it at home.
yeah.
So I'm at home, my mind immediately goes to, well, what else can I do while I'm watching this?
So Fairy Tale is actually one that I liked enough to buy box sets.
That's a good endorsement.
Uh, Yeah, and I don't buy shit like that. Like if it's free, no. I they because there's only so many seasons available on Hulu and Netflix, and I was like, I need more, so I went and I bought the next seasons.
Yeah,
A few of them. I think I've got five or six of them.
yeah, it is a. I have to get in. I'm gonna get more. I think I'm gonna start RN High School Host Club. Oh wait, no, tonight Ahsoka's on. I'll start that tomorrow maybe.
I highly recommend. It's
If
super easy, and it's gonna make you smile.
have you watched any of the Superman anime that they have on Adult Swim?
No, but I have watched the Harley Quinn one.
The Harley, well, that's not an anime. The Harley Quinn one's really good. The
If it's
Superman one,
animated, isn't it an anime?
no anime. Well, I think that if we want to get in it, the Superman one is anime inspired. Like it's more designed to look like it's kind of like Avatar: The Last Airbender, where it's like it's not anime because it's not made in Japan, but it is anime inspired. But it is
Okay.
it's like that, but for Superman, and it's the story of Superman coming out as a hero and everything goes. It
Oh,
is such a good like his relationship with Lois Lane in that show is the best relationship between Superman and Lois in a moving medium like ever. It's it's
why?
it's really cute. The two of them, their relationship, and like this show gets Superman on a level that Zack Snyder never did. Um, like in Man of Steel or Batman v Superman, anything like that. Like people like to get and this is minor spoilers, but like people like to get cynical about Superman and be like, oh well, Superman couldn't exist in this day and age because he'd have to like the world around him and kind of sink down to the world around him and not just be the big blue boy scout who's good for the sake of being good. This show does that unapologetically, where he is just a good guy for the sake of being a good guy. And one of the recurring themes is that no one believes that he's just a good person for the sake of being a good person. And like he does things for the sake of helping people because it's the right thing to do. To the point where it's like
And what's this on?
it's on Adult Swim, but it's on Max the next day.
Oh, okay, it's on Max.
Yeah,
Okay.
so like the military is like, what's your angle? Like they take him into custody because it's like no one is just good for the sake of being good, and it's
I'm
like
certainly not.
it has probably the best line of Superman dialogue in recent years, where it's he and Lois are walking through the woods, and there's a red sun thing happening, so he's losing his powers slightly.
Mm-hmm.
And this robot comes out because there's a lot of robots in the show. This robot comes out and is about to shoot at Lois and like shoot Lois dead with this like minigun, and he throws himself in front of her and takes all the bullets. It rips his clothes off and all of that because it's like it just his shirt and then he like falls to the
Is
ground.
that just a way to get him naked?
No, it's just his shirt, and it's not like he was fully naked after. And it's so she goes over to him and goes, "How did you know that you were bulletproof?" And he just goes, "I didn't, but I was certain you aren't."
Hmm.
And I'm like, I don't think I've ever heard a single sentence epitomize Superman as well as that one did.
Aw, look at you
This
with your
this show's just perfect,
aw.
especially as someone coming off of the last like 10 years of having Superman portrayed so poorly in movies.
Yeah.
Like Superman on Supergirl was really good too.
And he's a
Tyler,
character that you actually like.
oh yeah, like Tyler Hoechlin nailed it on the CW too. Him and Melissa Benoist or however you pronounce her name. They are both really good as Superman and Supergirl. Um, but yeah, people don't give it enough credit because it's on the CW.
Hmm.
But I think that's a good place to wrap up because we've been going for over an hour. We will eventually talk about where Ahsoka came from because I feel like that's something we need to have a conversation from the
I
beginning
guess
about.
I need to catch up on my Rebels.
Yeah, you should watch Rebels.
Okay.
Um,
I've
like,
watched some of Rebels. I guess I haven't watched the last couple seasons.
did you see the? Oh, you probably haven't seen the last episode, Maul's death episode,
I guess not.
because you would when I saying that you would 100% know what I'm talking about because a character from the prequels comes back for that episode, and he's the one who does Maul in one final fight, and it is so impactful, especially when you take into consideration. Do you remember the finale of the Clone Wars where Maul is being taken into custody and he was trying to plead with Ahsoka, and he's like, "Look, we have to kind of work together on this because the Emperor is like the because the Chancellor's up to something. This is a major problem. We have to work together." And he's being taken into custody by the Republic at the time because they're not yet the Empire, and he's like, "No, you have to let me go. There are forces in play here that are so much bigger than you understand. Like this is going to be a massive problem. You have to let like," and he's screaming and pleading to be released. Which in that episode where he does finally die, um, is kind of referenced a little bit. Um, I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but the episodes, I'll tell you the episode name, but it'll spoil who kills him. Um,
Okay, don't tell me things. I will just go watch it. I literally just said I'm gonna go watch it, and you said,
yeah.
okay, let me spoil everything for
Well, no,
you.
I didn't even spoil the best part of that episode, or
Oh my
anything good in that
goodness.
episode. That
All right.
like that's great, and then like
Well, why
the
don't
the whole final season with Thrawn is fantastic too.
okay.
Because you would
Stop
definitely
talking
remember it.
about it.
I know you you you, you have to finish this show.
You
Um,
have to watch the my anime that I like
Yeah, I
and
will
then
watch
tell
that. I
me.
feel like one of these things is relevant to this podcast now. And the thing is, too, we do need to talk, like, with Clone Wars, the movie, we do need more runway space to talk about that, even though the movie's really shitty. Because there is this thing in the Star Wars fan community where recency bias is kind of inverted. I don't know if you've noticed that.
No, I don't
Um,
know.
you know what recency bias is?
No.
It's the idea that whatever came out most recently is the best.
Oh,
So like
yeah.
something is inherently better because it's newer. Um, with Star Wars, it's flipped, where
Yeah.
anytime there's a female character that comes along, the previous one suddenly becomes the best example of how to write a female character, despite the fact
Oh.
that these characters were hated by fans. And the reason why this is relevant is because 2008, when they debut Ahsoka, I've never seen so much vitriolic backlash to a character reveal because people fucking hated Ahsoka out of the gate,
Okay.
out of this movie, and we'll talk about that when we do the episode about it. But that will be um, unless you're free this weekend to record and you want to double up on episodes before you go.
Um, we maybe could. I've got a lot of things I have to get done
Yes, just
before.
let me know, and I will let you
So
know my schedule, and we can see if we can work something out. If not, we'll be back in like 3 weeks when Josie gets back
yeah.
from her mission to Saigon, where she's on a CIA thing.
I'm going to Las Vegas.
Oh my god. Okay, I I was doing a bit, um,
I got your bit.
and you shut it down.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we'll be back with we'll be talking about we'll be talking about the Clone Wars movie when we get back, and then we will get back to doing video games at some point in the near future. But I am swamped with other game reviews over on Beware of Spoilers
I
between
know, what a
Starfield.
bad he's not committed.
Look, I got so much shit going on. You have no idea. And the thing is, too, I hate complaining about it because, like, look at all the video games I have to play.
Yeah.
Like, It's like what a fucking problem. But like, yeah,
Yep.
I have in a row. I have Starfield. I have the Pokemon DLC, Super Mario Wonder, Spider-Man 2, and then Super Mario RPG.
Wow.
Yeah.
You have so many things to play. And now you have an anime to watch that you have to
Yes.
watch.
Yes. I will let you know when I start the anime,
Yes.
and
I
it
would
will
like
be
the
this week.
play-by-play preferably.
Okay.
After each episode, I would like to know how what your interest level was.
Okay.
Um, and I'd like to progressively watch you go, all right, I
This is
like
stupid.
it.
This is stupid. This is stupid. This is great.
Yeah, that's what you're gonna do.
It's like
And
Attack
it's
on
gonna be
Titan, where Attack on
excellent.
Titan I started and I was like, this is the show everyone loves. Like, yeah.
Hmm.
But we'll wrap up there for today, and until our next episode,
It'll
have
be
a
good.
great rest of your week.